But we shall do a little short recap of what happened last time, where Carrick stood up to Mr. Hansen's thugs that were whipping a poor man, kicked him in the balls, knocked him out, almost got caught, then escaped. Talia did go missing. No idea where she is. Four essentially fresh recruits arrived to help, and when you all set out towards the mountain in the direction you had saw the beast flying off to, you did get attacked by the beast again, and one of these recruits got his arm ripped off and is dead, has been picked up, and while the beast is flying away, Beric bravely tried to grappling hook it and tie it down, but unfortunately tied himself to the rope and is now being carried off and away into the sky. And as a reminder, the creature has the full body of an eagle, a large, giant eagle, with the head of a deer. So, I will bring us back to the scene of what happened. Deep, well, on the edge of the forest, where Carrick is currently being flown away.
It's not me. It's
Or
Beric.
Beric is being flown away.
I'm getting dragged to hell.
Gonna drag you over there. So, what do you want to do? Like, we're not going to go in initiative order because there's really no combat to really be going on. But what do you both want to do seeing this happen? There's like blood still dripping from like the ripped off, like where the arm has been ripped off that's falling from the clutches of the creature, like splattering down over Beric's face.
Fuck.
My eyes. So am I just like flying through the air right now?
Oh yeah, you're getting lifted off the ground slowly. You're maybe about 15 feet up right now.
Shit. Uh, it's the bit to let go or hold on.
Well, you would need to
Oh, I
free
would need
free
to
your
free
sleeve.
myself. Free my
Yeah,
sleeve.
'cause your arm is just like being pulled up above you and you're just dangling. Your hand is free, so you might be holding onto the rope for some extra grip.
I'm just gonna hold on to the rope for dear life and just a little help.
Nah, I think it's funny.
Are you just gonna sit there and not do anything?
Well, I'm evaluating what I could do in this situation, and I don't know. Come up, trumps. Like, he's what, 30 foot in the air already? Is there any rope
He,
left for
uh,
him?
Beric is like 15 feet above the ground right now. The
Is he
bird
40?
itself is like,
Accelerating hard.
it's about like 65 feet up now.
I mean,
So
the only thing I can really do at this point is shoot the rope, but
you
I don't know if
can
that'll,
try to shoot the rope.
well, I don't know if
So
that'll work.
all the other recruits are like running your direction as you're pulled away. The one that had thrown their spear like picks their spear up off the ground. So what do you want to do? Are you gonna try and shoot the rope?
Oh,
Shoot the beast?
shoot down rope, so we will.
What the
Go
fuck?
for it.
What do you mean, what the frig? What else am I gonna do?
Make your roll. You wanted to shoot the rope. So your arrow is flying towards the rope.
This bitch is doubting my skill. Hang on, I'm trying to get my character sheet up again.
It is a very small target, and it is a disadvantage to hit because it is technically
Don't know
flying.
what it is.
So you've took your shot up as best as you can aim, but your arrow just
Oh,
flies by the rope between Beric and the creature.
there is simply nothing more I can do.
Shoot the creature, not me, dingus!
Well, what's that gonna do? I mean, it's trapped around you, is it not?
It's like essentially
Is it
tied around his sleeve.
right? But how is it holding the rope with its talons
The
or
grappling hook part itself is like kind of caught around one of the creature's feet.
simply
Uh,
nothing I can do?
the the recruit with the spear attempts to chuck their spear up
Oh, rolls
at,
a one,
at the
hits Jacob in
creature.
the head, and
It
knocks
actually
him
did
out.
roll a one, but
There you
he's
go.
far enough away from it that he's not in the way of being hit. So they try and chuck the spear up, but it goes off to the side and gets stuck up in one of the trees.
Well, good luck getting
Uh,
that spear back.
the other recruit attempts
You're right.
to
And earning
like swing their whip up
root
to
by stopping
try and
the
catch it around your foot before you get up too high,
leaving the airport or port
and they actually succeed. So
Oh.
just imagine this like recruit running like you're flying like you're about here, flying off that direction. The recruit sprints over, jumps off the rock to get some extra height, whips up, and catches it round your foot. And at this point, there is enough weight that the creature itself is being put under strain to try and keep
Fly.
aloft in the air. You can see that it is starting to struggle. Its wings are beating harder and faster to stay up, but it is staying in the air.
Oh, I've got an amazing idea. What if we all jump on the rope and pull it down to the ground?
So this recruit is slowly starting to get lifted off the ground, but not quickly.
Pylon!
So as you yell this, you like run over to the recruit with the whip.
Of course I do. We're all going for a ride. Here we go. Boom.
The other two, hearing this, don't really know what else to do, so they all attempt
Yeah, more weight and power!
to help pin the recruit down. Roll strength. Just like, are you just gonna try and like put your weight on it, or actually pull back?
Oh, like God, try our best to yeet him.
Roll some
Damn it, why did I
strength.
roll a disadvantage?
We'll take your higher one. We'll take the 17. So
Yeet!
you and the two other recruits are on the ground, start like pulling to try and keep the other recruit from also lifting off the ground. That was a very high combined roll. You can see
Pull its legs off.
you're keeping
Pull my fucking leg off, more likely.
you're keeping the creature from flying away with your strength. You can see it's like kind of looking down your direction, flapping furiously. The recruit that is holding the whip, however, needs to also roll. They are holding on firm to the whip. But Barrick, you will need to make a Constitution save, as you are
Wow.
essentially being
Getting pulled
stretched.
between a rock and a hard place.
Yes,
Yeah,
make
what?
make a Constitution save.
How did that happen?
He's being
What do you mean,
pulled
how
two
is it-
directions.
The whip is round my leg, being pulled by you fucking four, and then my arm is attached to the rope, being pulled by the fucking bird.
Make a Constitution save. Okay, so you can feel the strain on your body, but you yourself, you're also
Bring it
pulling
back,
against.
Bring it!
You're also pulling against the creature. It is flapping furiously, and in its frustration, it drops its prey, which is this guy here, drops him onto the ground beneath it to shed some weight, and starts trying to. Oh, it starts trying to. Okay, Mackay, yeah, roll another strength. As it tries to take off. Oh, 17. So as you're trying to hold it down with the other two recruits, it starts to pull away from you back up into the sky. In
Really?
like much strain, you yourself are starting to feel that the recruit you're holding down, their feet are now off the ground, and you yourself are feeling as though you might start lifting off if this thing tries any harder.
Surely it cannot lift us all.
Let's just say it rolled very, very high on strength. So it can currently lift a lot of weight. So what are you going to do next? Or what is Barrack going to do? Currently getting pulled in two different directions.
You can either cut the rope or get wrecked.
So, how far is it above me right now?
It's about 50, 45 feet above you.
That's quite a lot.
Yep, 'cause that's how long the rope is.
Basically just gonna have to like hold on for dear life, and I'm just gonna try to just pull it down as much as possible.
You do have one free arm right now.
Oh, I have one free arm.
Yeah, you've got like a. We'll say your left arm is the one that the sleeve is pinned into the knot of the rope. Your right arm is free.
Am I wonder.
You can attempt to do anything you can think of.
Am I how close am I to this tree?
Which one?
The one like the creature's closest to?
Oh, you're like. Let's see. You yourself are dangling maybe like 15 feet from it, and like 15, 10-ish feet from this person, since they are up off the ground a bit.
I'll just try. I'll give it an attempt. I'll pull out, use my free hand.
Yep.
Pull out one of my throwing knives or my
Okay.
daggers, and try to throw it at the creature's wings while it's flapping violently.
Make your attack roll. Since it is stationary in the air, I'll say no disadvantage, since it's not really like flying about and moving. So your dagger does spin up, and it looks like it's gonna connect, so roll some damage. Oh, that's a very nice damage roll right there.
Wait, is that not offhand?
No, he's got his main hand. His offhand is tied up.
Was offhand tied up?
Yep.
Okay.
So you see
Left-handed people are Satanists, Macaulay.
you see that the dagger spins up towards the wing, cutting through where a bulk of the feathers are, and you see a couple drips of blood drop down. Must have nicked like the main, like solid part of the wing where the feathers are connected.
Nice.
But you can't see where the dagger goes as it flies off into the sky.
Alright, so it hasn't like chunked it, it's just kind of cut him on the way past.
Yeah, I just like nicked its wing.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Anything else you'd like to do before the others attempt something?
How far am I at the end of the rope? Like, am I like?
Yeah, you're like the bit you would have tried to tie around the tree, because
Okay.
the rope was like rocketing away from you.
Yep. Anytime, you know. Love flying about in the air right now.
So what does the ground team want to do?
How much rope we got left to play with?
Well,
Uh,
there's
More the
the
whip.
50 foot of rope between the creature and Barrack, and then there's like the about 10 foot of whip between Barrack and the guy you're holding down.
Oh, it's not really enough to tie around a tree.
You do have the rope in your backpack if you wanted to use it.
How am I gonna tie it around a tree and then tie a knot to a
You
already
you
taut
can
rope.
attempt to do whatever you want. Like, I don't know what you could do, but you could.
50, imagine,
work
but if I
something
let
out.
Jacob go another 50 feet, that means he goes 50 plus 15. He's 65 foot in the air by the time I get this done.
You cut the rope.
More time! Speed! Speed is of the essence.
Speed is why you're talking to yourself, trying to figure out what to do.
Well, this is a sticky situation.
While all this is going on and you're struggling against the rope, yeah, the recruit then lowers down to the rock, and the rope starts to go slack. It's not as tight as you can see the creature start to circle down to come in for a landing. Clearly tired of being attached to this
Right.
creature beneath it.
What is this? Uh, this rock we're beside. Could we tie a rope to it and it would stay there, or would it
It's hard
just...
to tell if a rope would
How the
stay
fuck-
tied around the rock.
Could
I
be a
rope though.
pointy rock. I don't know. Could have a hole in it. That would be ideal. That would really.
There's
be
no
ideal.
hole in it. Roll
Rocks can have
roll
holes
some
in them.
investigation to see if you think the rope will be able to hold on this rock. Okay, so on this specific rock, it seems too smooth to tie a rope on effectively and keep it tied down. But if you wanted to use rocks, glancing over, there is oh god, why have I got the brush? There is this other pile of rocks. It's
Too
more
far away.
jagged and woodwork, or you could achieve the same thing tying it around the trees.
With a tree.
Yeah.
Well, then
Which are the
there is
better
only
option.
one logical move. If the going slack, we will move as quickly as possible to this tree and tie.
Does that
the
mean
rope around it.
am I lowering to the ground?
You're
slowly
starting
then?
to lower to the ground as the creature's gonna try and
Whatever
come in for
you
a
do,
landing.
do not cut the rope.
So as you shout this, you're gonna run to this tree.
We are gonna tie the rope as quickly around this tree as possible. All four of
You
us.
don't have a rope though.
He's got a rope in his backpack. You both had 50 feet of rope.
This is not gonna
So
go
you're
well.
gonna try and pull your rope and tie it around the tree.
Tie around the tree and then connect the long rope
Uh,
to the
Roll
creature.
sleight of hand to see how good of a knot you get tied down, like how solid it is. So this is a really solid knot. Like you've learned this somewhere throughout your life. It feels like it's gonna hold. It's not gonna like slip through and undo. As
Just
the
what
others
we
are
need.
trying to help you fasten it down, the tree backing up. They're clearly too afraid to speak of, like, they're just so afraid of this creature. While doing this, Beric does touch down to the ground as the creature lands down between these two trees you're about. You like touch down here, and then a couple seconds later, it plants down next to you.
Oh fuck.
So, we will roll a new initiative order in case combat happens. Oh, a 20. That's another good initiative roll. And... okay. So you both actually rolled really well on initiative. Nice. You were clearly prepared for whatever was going to happen. So, our order is Beric, Carrick, the creature, and then the spearman, the woman with the whip, and then the swordsman. So, as Beric hits the ground quite roughly, and you see this creature land down next to you, blood dripping from its talons as they plant down onto the earth. What do you want to do?
Jacob. He's gonna get eaten. eaten by
Sorry,
a
sorry. What
deer.
was it?
You're moving first.
I shall. Uh, obviously my sleeve is still like connected.
You're
to
still
this rope.
attached to the rope. So you'll
Free
be
yourself.
able to move
Free
50
yourself.
feet from the creature wherever you want.
Right, I want to.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
How far? It's only 40 feet from us.
yep,
Currently,
Yeah.
yes.
it's very fucking close.
Indeed, it is.
I want to run over here quickly and
You should have lifted
still
the
have
man's
some room.
crossbow.
His
Ah.
crossbow's over here at the rock.
Oh, okay.
I want to tie
Your rope to the other rope.
Yeah.
Make some sleight of hand for how good
Can
your
I
knots will
tie
be.
it in such a way that I can like connect the ropes, but also still pull it? That I can
That
like.
would
that I
require
can, like-
pulleys, would it not, Andrew? I don't know. How
Just
would you do that?
roll some sleight of hand to see how well it works. And then if it works, you can say like what way you...
Okay, it
so
works.
so what way do you want to like connect these ropes? Whatever way you want to do it, you can do it.
I fashion the ropes intertwined with each other, that the rope at its full length will be stopped at the tree, but the rope can also be pulled to pull the creature closer to the tree.
So what I'm thinking is like, so like halfway up your rope, you start tying the other rope there, and then you can use your rope to pull it in.
Yeah.
Okay. So your hands move quickly, learning from your previous mistake at trying to tie your rope to the tree, and you've attached both the ropes together. As you look around and see the angry beast starting to like get ready. It's now Carrick's turn. As you see it land, Beric rush over and quickly start tying ropes together. So how are you going to react? Gonna make a run for it?
Wait. Damn!
So you're trying to take a shot at it?
Yes.
Okay, so as you run over, slide to the rock, pull an arrow, and fire from your bow. Your shot does land true and hit the creature, as it's now landed and is a lot easier to
Oh.
hit. Roll your damage. It's quite a big target. So your arrow streaks in, piercing, just missing the wings and piercing into the side as the wings have like, they're like starting to fold into the side. Piercing into its side. Not deep. Probably hitting one of the ribs and stopping it from penetrating deeper. But it lets out a shriek of pain as it flaps its wings, gains a bit of height, and swoops in close enough, like just pretty much flaps itself off the ground, reaches out its talons to attempt to grab this recruit in the front who has the whip. Let's see.
Use your sword, you dingus.
It's not their turn yet, as the talons grasp in, trying to latch on, dealing
254 points of damage, he did.
Oh, so the talons reach in, try and grasp around the recruit, but they just miss, like gripping onto them, slashing across their chest, shredding their leather armor, digging deep into the skin, and just tearing it from the body as they're knocked back to the tree unconscious but still alive.
And then there
It did
were four.
exactly enough damage to knock that one out.
So you're telling me you can still get instant killed by this thing?
These guys aren't as strong as you remember.
Okay.
These are just like normal people.
Sure wish we had another bowman right about now.
And then it tries to flap its way up slightly into the air, about about 20 feet or so into the air. So the rope is just dangling loosely beneath it right now. It hasn't got to its full height, but it is up in the air.
Leave it all behind.
And now that it's able to move around more easily, if you try and attack it in the air, you will be back to disadvantage. But we are to the spearman's turn, who has lost their spear in the tree when they rolled a 1,
Oh.
and they decide they take a dash for the rock to attempt to get the crossbow. It's currently not loaded, so that they take the rest of their turn like grabbing the crossbow and some of the bolts that have scattered onto the ground and load one in, taking a knee, getting ready to shoot. The next swordsman here, he doesn't know what the fuck to do, so he hides behind the tree, waiting for an opportunity to strike out. The one with the whip takes a death saving throw as they're slowly bleeding out. They succeed, so they're not dead yet. And we're back to Beric's turn. As you see this crumpled, broken body of a bleeding recruit lying in front of you.
Fuck. Quick reacting. I'm going to run and try to use my strength to
Okay. Pull
wrap
against.
the rope round this second tree.
Okay. Ooh, make a strength. As you try to get to the tree, you're getting to the end of the length of rope as it pulls tight against the creature. So you would have got to the tree, tried to pull it around. As you try and pull it around the tree, the rope goes tight, and then you get pulled back a bit before you can get it all the way around the tree. As the creature starts pulling against you now that it's in the air. Clearly fighting against your strength and currently winning.
Right.
As it's the strength of its wings. Though, I will say, as long as the rope stays tight, you and the creature will be engaged in a grapple. So, on its turn, if it wants to move and the rope is still tight, and
I'll
it's
have
trying to
roll
move
it,
away
yeah.
from you, you both roll strength. If you want to try and move away from it, you'll both try and roll strength.
Yeah, okay.
So, right now, it is a Carrick's turn. Or is there anything else you'd like to try and do before your turn ends?
Can't remember. Swordsman! Aid me!
Oh, he looks around and he starts moving towards you, so on his turn, he will be able to help. It is
Right,
now,
if I
it
shoot
is now
this turn,
Carrick's turn.
do I roll disadvantage?
Yes, as it's now in the air and more able to move and try and duck out of the way. Make your attempt if that is what you want to do.
Well, I'm evaluating the situation and there's simply nothing else I can do other than just throw shit at it, like rocks, or just shoot it. Like shooting it would do more damage.
Do what you think is best.
Disadvantage. Chobo. Damn.
Oh, your shot would have hit, but at the last second it just flaps one of its wings slightly more, and it just skims by, just taking one of the feathers with it. Just narrowly missing the side of the creature. Do you want to move or try and do anything else before your turn ends?
Probably just cover myself where I can still get an eyesight on it, but cover like half my
Okay.
body. like take a pot shot at it if I have to. Or in fact, I will cover behind the rock, and then peek. Just peek
Okay.
like in Rainbow. Just peek.
So
It's like peek. Bam, you dead.
as your arrow misses, it spreads its feathered wings out wide and starts trying to lift up as with all its strength, trying to pull against Beric, and then also trying to pull hard enough to break the rope to escape. Oh,
Oh dear!
oh,
He gets
okay,
severe
hold on,
rope burn
hold on. No,
and falls
this is
over.
it's even better than you think, Macaulay.
Did it roll a 0?
Oh no, no,
Okay.
it's better. I need to take a screenshot of this for
He
you.
rolled a crit, didn't he?
Oh
He
yeah,
pulled you back up into the air.
Oh,
natural 1 and a natural 20. So
Oh
as
no!
you start to pull against it, uh, you start sliding in the ground and are pulled off your feet, slamming into like head first into the tree in front of you. I'll say taking 1d4 of damage from the headbutt. So you take 2 points of damage from slamming into the tree. And then, as you're lying there, you feel like the ropes.
dazed.
You're very dazed, but as you look up, you see the ropes go tight, and then they snap. As where you'd like tied on the other rope that was attached to the tree to your rope, where you tied that knot, the ropes just shatter as the creature starts lifting up into the air. It's about maybe about 50 feet up at this point as its turn ends. It's massive show of strength, pulling you off your feet and succeeding in breaking the rope in one fell swoop. As ropes take it's a 15 strength check to actually break a rope, and it got a 23 to pull you down and break the rope. If only you hadn't rolled a 1. God damn it. So, the spearman takes their shot up at the flying creature, and they get a hit. They get a good solid puncture up into. Let's see how much damage they do. Okay, so their shot is also aimed for the wing, but skims by taking out some of its feathers and skimming off the actual solid part of the wing itself. As they start trying to load another bolt, yelling out, "Bowman, take it down!" as they're loading their crossbow. The spearman. Oh, that is the spearman. The swordsman. They haven't really even been able to do much this whole time, the per person. Trying to think what they could do. Is there anything either of you would like to shout over to the remaining swordsmen of what you'd like them to try and do?
You know the way you said the rope is snapped?
Yes, the rope that you had attached to your grappling hook, that rope has snapped and they've fallen down to the ground. There is a
Okay.
there is a good good like length of rope left that's dangling down. You could get to it if you made a jump before it gets too high.
Grab the rope! Do not let it escape!
You see a moment of contemplation flash across their face. They close their eyes, nod, and sprint out, jump for the rope. And it's not the best attempt, but they've caught onto it just slightly. And with their weight suddenly pulling in the creature, it drops a bit in the air, still about a good 45 feet in the air. This guy's feet are like just dangling above the ground. As we go to Beric's turn, and you've seen this transpire.
I'm going to uh, shake off the
Your
mighty
daze.
damage the tree has done to me, and I shall also run and make a jump for the rope.
Wait,
Okay.
Why?
Roll-
Why is the swordsman
Roll
in
athletics.
this?
Because he's dangling underneath it right now.
Oh, for the love of God! Well then,
So you run over to try and jump onto the rope as well. The
Ah.
swordsman already on tries to reach down a hand to grab you, but he
You're
kind of
simply
spins
unable.
around. And as he spins around, his feet come around and kick you and knock you to the ground, ruining your attempt to jump up. You can still make your like final actions, since that was just like a movement.
I'll get up and is there any of the way the rope snapped between the creature and the tree?
Yeah,
Does that mean the rope that's around the tree?
it's still
is-
there. It's like lying beneath it.
I'm gonna run, grab that rope, and attempt to throw it to the free hand of the swordsman so he can hopefully tie it off.
You wouldn't need to throw it. He's low enough that you could just kind of reach up as high as you can go and get the end just into his hand.
Okay.
So
I'll
you've
just do
now
that
passed off the rope.
Yeah.
Carrick sees this all happening as these two are trying to keep the creature pinned down and locked in this area as best they can.
Aim for the wing, I suppose.
Make your attack.
Try and cripple the beast. Yeet, peek.
You just peek around the
Yeah.
corner, loose an
peek.
arrow.
Where's my sheet? Disadvantage, short bow. Fuck,
Oh.
another 12, man.
You see it
Come on.
just barely miss by, like as this guy
I
like
want to get. I at least take 2 feathers off, but no damage.
like
That
as this guy like jumps out and like grabs on the rope as and like he kind of yanked it down a bit as you were releasing your arrows when it dropped. So your arrow just skims straight over the top of like the shoulder of its wing, nicking a couple of the feathers away. As like you would have got a good solid hit, but as he jumped on, the extra weight dropped it just below where you were about to hit, ruining your shot. Is there anything else you want to attempt to do in the ongoing struggle?
I mean, there's 3 people over there. I will relocate,
Ooh,
I think. But it's 47 feet away.
could
I go
just
from
jump
there.
over the rock and get like a good 30.
We'll go to the other side of the rock.
Okay.
There we go. Boom.
Next, I guess as the beast feels this weight pull down onto it, it starts flapping its wings furiously, and it attempts to try and take off as high as it can go. Though it is looking quite injured at this point. Not near death, but hurt enough that its strength is weakening and it just hasn't been able to pull this guy much further up off the ground. Maybe a couple extra feet.
Good.
The spearman, then seeing this, has the crossbow loaded again, aims up, takes a shot into it, but they're very shaky after watching their friend get their chest torn out. And the bolt just flies off, heading into the tree behind it. and the poor one that had their chest torn out definitely looks like they're bleeding out near death on the ground. As the swordsman who's got the two ends of the rope starts trying as best he can with one hand holding on to tie the rope, and you can see he's made a knot, but the knot, it's not very strong. It's good for working with one hand, but it won't hold against a strong force. And we're now back to Beric, as your band of warriors is doing their best.
I'm just going to try to reattempt to jump up and grab the piece of rope that is, seeing that the knot does not look very secure. I'm going to try to jump up and grab the piece of rope that's already attached to the creature.
Roll some athletics for your jump up. Okay, so you jump up and you're able to clasp on as best you can to the rope dangling down from its leg. Is there anything else you want to do now that you've successfully jumped up?
I'm gonna try. Can I climb a wee bit higher up the rope?
You can indeed.
Yes, I will just climb.
With your athletics being that high for the jump, I'll say you can get like a good half your movement, so 15 feet climbed upward. So you're about halfway up the rope at the minute. Halfway between the ground and the creature itself. Would you like to attempt anything else before we move on?
No, that's all I want to do.
Okay, so we're now to Carrick. As you see them holding it down as best they can, Beric starting to climb up the rope. You still have like the other end like attached to your sleeve, just like dangling down. But
Is this
you're climbing
tramp
up.
still moving about?
Oh, he's still flapping about furiously in the sky, like
Is that
shaking
all
back
he's
and forth
doing?
and sideways.
Is he not gonna attack anyone, or?
He can't really attack anyone. It wants to leave, but it's currently being prevented from leaving.
What?
As it doesn't fancy its odds. It just wanted prey. It got its prey, but then it got caught. And that's why it dropped the dude. It just wants to survive at this point.
Frigate, we'll go for another wing shot.
Make your roll.
We can. Literally the only thing we can do at this point. Short bow.
It is indeed very hard to hit a flying target.
Oh well, that was another wasted arrow.
So your arrow just flies through the air. At this point, your arms are actually getting tired from making so many consecutive shots. And you just flinch slightly as you take your shot, arrow ricocheting off up into the trees somewhere in the distance. You can still make your move, or attempt like some small action if you want.
I'll get closer.
Okay.
I'll not be able to get in the full 30 feet probably, but maybe in like 2 turns. Probably, so we can go from here. Oh, getting pretty close. Pretty close.
You're almost there.
I can get to about here. About there. Right. That's all I can
Do you
do.
want to try and shout anything out to the other three?
Don't let go.
Okay. You're gonna now see the creature as it's flapping around in the sky, starting to seem like it's beginning to panic. Now that it's been pinned in the one area for so long. And it starts to try and drag its weight forward towards the larger tree. This direction. Swinging the rope out
Oh, fuck.
and trying to slam both Beric and the swordsman against the tree. You'll need to make a strength, just a strength roll to try and cling on to the rope as you slam into the tree.
Can I not make an athletics roll to see if I can like put my
Well,
feet out?
Make an athletics one, yeah, that's what it would be. See if you can just stay on. Okay, so you like the swordsman who's closer to the bottom,
Holy shit!
he takes the harder impact, slamming into the base of the tree, getting the wind knocked out of him and dropping to the ground. You get caught mostly in the branches as you slam into the tree, not hard enough to take damage, but the rope does start slipping in your hands as the creature tries to fly upward and you're caught in the branches. So instead of being about halfway up the rope, you're now about a quarter way from the end of the rope, stuck in the tree. So the spearman down at the rock just shouts up, "Don't give up! I got this!" Tries to take a shot up towards it. And it's flapping and thrashing. They completely miss, bolt shooting off into the branches of the fir tree.
Fuck!
Beneath the swordsman, he drops down and pretty much lands on top of the unconscious person in the whip, and you just hear as the last breath of their life leaves them, with them essentially being crushed by
Wait, did we just lose the swordsman?
not the swordsman, the one with the
Oh.
whip that valiantly
he's dead
jumped
anyway.
off the rock to try and save Beric. They have now died from the impact of the swordman dropping down on top of them. He himself is injured, but on his turn, starts like he takes the rope that where it had broke and he had got it tied back up to the one from the creature. He then starts trying to reinforce that knot around the tree so that hopefully it won't be able to escape. But his knot is not the best. Like the one he'd already tied. The one at the bottom is very solid at this point.
Okay.
And we're back to you. What does Beric do next? Slam
Am I
into
kind
the
of
tree.
like, am I just hanging in this tree, or am I
Pretty
sort of
much.
like, am I kind of like in a foothold, kind of like in some branches?
You're just kind of stuck in the branches of the fir tree itself. Since you're holding
Could
onto the rope,
I-
you're not dropping.
Could I hold onto the rope, fling myself out of the tree, and kind of use the weight to my weight of the fall to
You
try
can
and drag
indeed.
him?
Now let us see
Uh,
what your weight is, because your weight, I think, will affect.
My weight is
You're 154 pounds,
uh,
so it'll need to roll higher than a 15 to stay in the air. Otherwise, you'll pull it down at least a bit, depending how bad it rolls.
okay.
Let's see. Okay, so you push off the tree, jump down, and as you, like, mid-air yank with all your might, reaching the end of the rope, you feel a little bit of give, but it doesn't drop that much. Maybe about 5 feet or so. You almost lose your grip, but you're holding on tight.
Okay.
Do you want to attempt anything else before we move on in the turn order?
I'm gonna just try to. Am I still beside the tree?
You would be like at this point maybe 5, 6 feet out from the tree, like mid-air, like pulling onto the rope as you jump. So you haven't
Okay.
swung back yet.
No, I'll just try to hold on to the rope with all my might, and
You're clinging on hard.
Yeah.
haven't fallen yet.
Also, Andre,
Yes.
all the stuff's gone from my character sheet.
What do you mean it's all gone?
I
Oh,
can't say it. But
there we go. Is it
Like,
back
oh,
that? I was on
yeah.
the bio bit in the top right to see your weight and shit. But it is now Carrick. You see, it's trying to escape, and
Shoot it, Carrick!
I
Shoot it
will.
now!
Do I still roll disadvantage on?
it's still flying.
Yeet.
It is burdened, but it's still flying
wing
in the
shot.
air. You do indeed hit it. Roll your damage.
Yeet. Oh.
Your arrow streaks up through the air. You can see at this point, it actually pierces into the, like just up the wing a bit from the shoulder, pierces in and gains purchase, actually sticking into the wing itself. There's a shriek of pain as it starts flapping its wing on that side more furiously, trying to shake it
I
loose.
don't get D6 for being close to Jacob. No.
No, he's not actually like up in combat with it, and that's
No.
only for like
It's only
melee
for melee
attacks.
combat.
Yeah, not
Aw.
ranged. Unfortunately, it's quite
Okay.
sad.
Be a bit OP if 6 rogue archers were standing right
Oh,
beside
God.
each other, and then all those.
It's
It'd be,
Pelfrey.
like, it'd be like that Lord of the Rings meme, you know, your old guy and the at Helm's Deep.
Anything else you'd like to try and do before?
Situation of the rope. What's happening over there with
It's-
Jacob again?
The rope is solid at the base of the tree, but where the rope broke,
What,
the swordman. Yeah, like back when
Yeah.
Jacob like ran over here to try and wrap it around this tree. He rolled a 1, it rolled a crit. So he got pulled against the tree, and then the rope snapped as it went tight.
My rope is broke, but your rope is tied around the tree, which is really
Well-
secure. But the end of your rope is tied to my rope.
And then
which
the end of
isn't
that
secure.
rope is now tied to where it broke, and it's not very secure. It's very
Right.
complicated. There's a
So
lot
I
of
get this
knots.
clear. Because that was a lot of broken
Hold
and
on.
tied and rope, okay?
I'll
rope
draw
around it-
for you. So your rope is tied here,
Yeah.
and it's like, say, your rope's out like this, and then there's the rope from the creature. This is Jacob's rope,
Yes.
and it's tied here to the other half of his rope, which is then tied to your rope, and like the
So-
rope's tied like tied here, and then it's
What the frig is going on?
it
It's
is
basically my rope has been split in half, and
Yes.
then your rope has been tied on to the end of where my rope split.
So what you're saying is, it's the creature.
What
is
we're
still attached to
essentially
the
saying
tree.
is right.
It's
Yes,
still attached.
but the knot that connects your rope to my rope is very weak and will not hold.
yes.
So my option is either help you pull it down.
He's about 10, 15
I don't
feet
even. I
in the air
don't
right
think,
now.
yeah, you can't even jump for where I am now.
So I've got to just tie the rope and hope for the best. How far is that?
The weak part of the rope is up where Jacob is. The strong part is down where you are.
Right. So I'll go fix the rope then.
Well, the bit down with
You
you
can't.
is solid. Like you can't make it tied
oh wait,
any
I thought
better.
you said this bit was fine. Okay, so I've
It's
got
it's the bit like up in the air, dangling from it, where Jacob's hanging.
and that's
That
the
bit
weak
of the rope
part.
is tied very badly by the swordsman.
So
He only had one
essentially-
hand to do this, so
Which is-
Essentially,
A feat in itself.
yes, he
there
actually did
isn't
really
a
well.
whole lot I can do at this moment in time.
From the ground, it's gonna like you can't really do anything with the rope. If you think of some creative way to get up there to Jacob, then you can certainly try it.
I mean, what is the likelihood I'm going to climb the tree?
Well, he's 10 feet up, so
How am I going to climb 10 foot of tree?
well, if you do really good at a jump, you could definitely grab
Run,
onto him
lad,
or the end
run
of
up.
the rope.
Lad, run up the tree, jump off the tree, grab onto the rope. Easy buns.
Here we go! Oh, that's a disadvantage.
So do you want to like go up the tree and jump off the tree onto the
Doing a
rope?
Legolas, of course I'm gonna do that.
Make it acrobatics. This
Oh.
is less a feat of strength and more a feat of run up, get through the branches, backflip off the tree, and catch onto the rope
Don't know
midair.
about backflip, but alright, we'll throw that in there for dramatic effect.
Okay, so
This
you
does
get
work,
to the
doesn't it?
tree, and as you like, it's a pine tree, so it's there's a
Not a lot of
good
grip.
there's a good bit of a trunk at the base that doesn't have branches, and you get up as best you can, try to jump out. Uh, make make a sleight of hand check because you're barely gonna get to the rope. So you you literally like the rope ends and you clasp on just at the very end of the rope with one
You've
hand.
probably grabbed onto
Wait.
the knot itself.
So you're hanging at the very bottom of the rope.
Why did I do this? This is so dumb. Now I can't do anything.
Well,
What-
your
what?
additional weight does make it take another strength save, and it does drop that like your additional weight as you jump up and grab on, and that pulls down. You feel your feet actually touch onto the ground as its wings give way slightly, and you
Yeah,
pull down to the
but
ground.
next turn, if it rolls high and we all roll low, we're going on a flying. We're go.
That would be
We're-
fate.
Well, that is your movement. You
We're
could
going on a
attempt to
trip
make an
to a
action
rocket.
if you want.
to see a rocket.
So, do you want to have grabbed on with your good hand or your bad hand?
Well, probably the old bad hand, because then I can throw something at it and then
Do you want to
stuff.
attempt to throw a blade up at it?
Ah, why not? Throw a long dagger at it, like.
Still with disadvantage, but you might hit it.
Wait, this turn, am I allowed to do that?
You can
That's two
try.
attacks.
Well, you
Okay.
just like made your movement and you attempted to like jump onto the rope. You
Disadvantage.
can try and fling a dagger up if you want.
Yay!
Oh, it would have hit, but dangling precariously from one hand as your feet reach the ground, you just whip your dagger out, fling it into the air, but it drops short and just thuds into the ground in front of the creature. It is clearly pissed, shrieking, flapping its wings furiously as it's trying to shake the arrow
Does
out
it
of
make
its
a
shoulder.
bird shriek or does it make a deer shriek?
Just an unholy, ungodly noise that's close to neither. Like, you could not describe it with words, is what it sounds like. The creature still is not smart. I've been trying to see if it's smart enough to do something that would solve all of this, but it is so far not. Luckily for you.
All it has to do is like get the grapple back off his leg.
Yeah, it's not a smart beast. It's a kind of smart beast in terms of beasts, but it's currently too panicked to worry about that, is what I would say. So it continues to try fly up, and it can't really fly up, so it starts flying around the tree, kind of pulling you both around the branches and bark of the tree, trying to scrape you off the rope. Roll some athletic saves for both of you to hold on.
We're going on a trip to see a rocket.
Assuming I just can hit athletics.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. So,
Trash!
Carrick you're low enough down that it's not really that bad for you since your feet are like essentially touching the ground. You're lifted up a little bit, but then you touch back down. Unfortunately, Beric is being scraped through every single branch and twig closer to the top of this tree. And they're battering the shit out of you, causing you to lose your grip on the rope itself, but you don't plummet to the ground. You're currently trapped in the branches of the tree, not falling, just kind of hanging there, caught by like your belt or something that's been snagged by one of the branches.
Look at the state of this.
The as it starts flying around, screeching in pain, the spearman, now the crossbow, climbs over the rock, tries to take a shot for the wing, yet again misses. They're not very good with the crossbow, it seems. The swordsman, who is like down underneath. Is there anything either of you want to shout for him to do?
And
He's in shock, realizing that this person he just landed on is dead. But is there anything either of you want to shout for to try and command
Where's
him?
the damn deer going to?
This thing?
Yeah, where's he with? Scarborough?
He's
or
like
what the
he's wrapped
pulling-
around the train.
Yeah, so
Why
Barrick's
is
like
he doing that? The dumb.
to
He's
try and
panicking.
it's panicking. It's trying to like scrape you off the rope so it can actually
Can't go
fly
up,
away.
so it's flying in whatever direction it can.
Yeah.
So
It's
should
also
we
getting
just-
arrows and bolts fired at
You're
it, so
currently the only one holding onto the rope right now. And you're like barely on the ground, stretching up to hold on.
Am I, as I'm holding on to the on rope, am I gonna get like wrapped around the tree?
It tried
on.
to, but since your feet are touching the ground, you got pulled up a little bit, but then your feet touched back down before you slid in. That's what your last roll was for.
Swordsman, grab the rope!
Panicked, He-
Swordsman!
he rushes over beside Carrick, jumps up to try and get a good solid grasp on the rope, connects, and lands planting his feet into the ground, pulling as hard as he can on the rope, getting both Carrick and him, like your feet are planted into the ground nice and solid right now. It is back to Barrick's turn. As you can see,
How
yeah.
high is the creature in the air compared to me?
It's maybe a good 30 feet above you. You're like almost at the top of the tree, and it's like about 30 feet higher than you. The rope is dangling like pretty much right beside you, though.
Right, I'm gonna see if I can grab onto the rope and climb up to the creature.
Make some athletics. This is going to be a very precarious climb. So, you try and do your best to climb up. You kind of swing down so you're hanging like back to the ground, trying to climb along. Your hands are getting sore. Your body aches. You hold on and get about 14 feet to the creature. So you're halfway up the rope towards it.
Nice. Does also my new added weight to the rope?
It does affect it slightly, but the creature's in such a panic right now that it's got some renewed strength as your weight weighs down on it, keeping in the air. Roll a 16 to counter your weight.
Damn.
We do. Do you want to try anything else while you're up on the rope? It'll be very precarious to do anything since you're...
No, I'm just
Okay.
gonna try to hold on and not fall out of this tree.
Okay, so we're now to Carrick. What do? You can't currently see Barrick trying to scale the rope. You just know he's up in the tree somewhere.
Just hold on for dear life, probably. I mean, we probably shouldn't let go, otherwise the cunt's gonna get away.
Are you gonna try and pull against it or just hold your ground?
Ah, fuck it, we'll try pull against it, but I don't see how that's gonna do anything.
You could overpower it.
Strength check!
Do it with the advantage, and that'll
We'll
be
do it again.
the swordman helping you.
Yeah, okay, we're going to 16.
Okay, so 16. Oh, shit. So as you start to pull as hard as you can, you start to feel yourself lift off the
Again.
ground again.
There we go. There we go. Yep.
It's
yep.
rolled another extremely high roll to try and get away. It is
This
trying its
can't just
damnedest to
die,
not
I mean-
die.
Perfect.
This is a wild animal, so it's not gonna roll over and die easily.
Why not? Make my life so much happier.
Okay, it's making its intelligence check. It is still not smart enough to take the easy route out. It's been like every single time I've rolled under 10, and it is just dumb as
Why
fuck.
is the roll so high for strength and not intelligence? Like,
See, the intelligence rolls are the only ones keeping it in this area. If it just rolled one non-shit roll, it would just slash the rope with its claws and fly away.
Oh my god.
why are we even holding on this rope? I should just shoot the cunt again.
Yeah, you could do that on your next turn if you want.
Probably gonna have this is pointless.
So-
like, don't know why I'm doing this.
As you're trying to hold on and your feet have been lifted from the ground, you start to quite rapidly gain speed as you fly in towards the tree.
The tree.
It starts pulling off this way, bringing Beric with it, flowing behind.
Would I not be correct and said that they're not getting pulled round the tree
They
because
are.
the rope wrapped around the tree a couple of times?
So you're getting like pulled in like this, brushing up against it and round. Both you and the swordsman are gonna need to make some strength saving throws to hold on as you're battered against the tree. The swordsman does hold on. He like grips on not you, Jacob, just these two.
No, not me.
Not
Oh,
you.
sorry.
You're just like holding on to this tight rope as you just kind of you just like look to your feet and see the tree disappearing behind you. So the swordsman, he does hold on. He tries to brace against the tree, like holding on to it as best he can. But can Carrick hold on to the rope, or is he dislodged?
Would I have to roll
Strength saving throw.
again? Gonna be terrible.
So you're pulled in, battered to the tree, and knocked off to the side, like out into the open. And as you like roll onto your back and look up, you see about 16, 15 feet down the rope behind the beast is Beric trying to climb his way up towards it.
Lovely.
So the spearman then runs out towards you, kind of pulls you up to your feet, and then takes a shot up at it with the crossbow. So as he's like taking his shot, he's like, "Get to your feet, archer! Bring it down!" You see his bolt fly up, actually connect this time.
For fuck's sake.
By the gods.
Took him long enough, like.
Oh, it's a good shot. As you're like climbing up, you see the shot land solid straight into the back of like where its shoulder blade would be, dealing significant amount of damage.
Gives a shit. This thing's probably got like 40 health. Probably more.
You can see that there are quite a few drops of blood that are dripping from it down onto the ground. It does look quite rough, but not near death just yet. Actually, both of you roll perception to see if you can tell something about the creature. Have you done enough
Shit
damage
roll.
to it?
Oh no, it wasn't.
Okay, so Beric doesn't notice, but Carrick, you can see that with every strike and blow done to it, they don't seem to be as effective as they would be against something else of this size.
Wait, what?
So you feel as though your attacks, these like
Or
blows,
trash?
no, like they're hitting it, but if you hit another creature of like the same size roughly, you feel like it would be hurting it more and would probably have took it down by now. So they're not
Why is this
affecting
thing-
it as much as you think they
Why
should.
is this thing such a goddamn wizard? Like,
Because it's a tank.
Perhaps you will never know.
right? Am I go yet?
It is now Beric.
God
hanging
damn
from
I
it.
just wanna shoot the thing.
I shall
next.
try to climb closer to the creature.
Make some athletics.
You're
Don't roll
you're
bad.
just gonna break both your legs.
Okay, so
Oh my god.
you managed to climb the last 15 feet up the rope to literally just underneath the claws of the creature as you see its head look down towards you under its wing.
Nice.
You're like
Uh,
literally right at it now.
I'm going to draw my sword and try to thrust up into the creature's belly.
Okay. Trying to
Uh,
decide if this would be disadvantage.
if
I
you
would say
Probably.
this is
Because you're
Probably
hanging from like
disadvantage, yeah.
one hand, trying to swing with the other. So you can certainly
Nah,
try.
lad, here's what you do.
Go
You
for it.
just jump off the tree with 2 hands and you shove it up.
nowhere
He's
near
not
the
a-
tree anymore.
Like, okay, he is about maybe 60, 70 feet up in the
if I
air.
fall, I am fucked.
Yeah, no, I said you're just wanting to, flip and break your leg.
Oh,
Oh
as
shit.
as you're trying to like swing up, you're wobbling just too much on the rope with like, I would say like you've kind of got like, the rope in your elbow as you're trying to like hold on as best you can, trying to swing up, but you're shaking way too much and you can't get a good solid swing. Like you hit it with your sword, but you don't hit it hard enough to actually like break through its skin and do any damage. Though it gives you an angry snarl, just as you try and strike into it. Carrick, you're just being pulled to your feet by the crossbowman as you look up and see the Beric has shimmied his way up the rope and is now trying to batter it with his sword in midair. What do you want to do?
Me?
Yes, it's now your turn.
I'd love to face palm, but it's not really, the time and place. Jacob seems to have taken on my role as resident retard this evening, but
Well,
We
you've
shall-
seen all this, so what do you want to try?
I'm gonna have to shoot the cunt. I should have never stopped shooting him.
Make your roll.
Disadvantage. Oh,
Oh no! Okay.
No.
No, roll your damage.
Here we go.
Because somebody
I will
is within danger range right now.
Oh, that's
Okay,
a mighty
so-
one. It's only a one, lad. You're alright.
As you shoot up, like, for a second, you think you're gonna hit it, but it's currently kind of, like, it's moving away from you. So it moves just out of range, and the arrow drops short and pierces, like, just slashes across the thigh of Beric. So, like, you've got your
What?
feet round this rope, your arm around it, and just like along your calf, like say your right calf, it just slashes straight across and then flies by, whizzing through the air. And you can feel the
Lethal
warm
crack.
sensation of blood
Ah!
spreading down your leg towards your ass.
Do I look like a turkey with wings to you?
You
kinda
just
do
hear
up there,
that
not
echo
gonna
out
lie.
across the forest. Do you want to move at all?
Me?
Yes. Do you want to move?
I'll climb 60 foot of tree. No, I'm not gonna do shit. Well, I'll move out the way of the spearman, but flip.
Okay, so
That's it.
upon being battered by a blade, you just, as you're like hanging onto the rope, you just see, like, glance round and see one of the clawed feet swing out towards your face as it tries to swipe you midair from the rope. And let's see. Oh, it does strike you. The claws scrape over. Let me roll damage and see how bad this gets.
I'm just gonna call bullshit now. If anyone's gonna come unconscious out of this fight, and it's me,
So-
that's the biggest load of shite ever. Like,
The claws reach out towards you, and you can feel them dig into the chest piece as they scrape across it, like that high-pitched metal on metal kind of sound as the claws just reach across it, off the side, and dig into like your armpit, pretty much. Digging up into your arm as they release, dealing you 10 points of damage midair. Though you are still hanging on strong, or you could decide to release if you want to drop. It is up to you. But you're severely injured right now. In-
It's times
in
like
there.
these, Jacob's gone.
It rolled very high on the damage
Break
there.
both his legs.
It does continue trying to fly away. Does the poor swordsman manage to hold on? He does not. And you feel the knot, like the tightness of the rope that you're holding on to, go loose as you start to dangle, like swing down almost directly beneath it as it rockets off this way as fast as it can.
Am I still like pretty much underneath it? Yeah.
Instead of being like on a tight rope, kind of closer to its ass, you're now like hanging directly beneath its claws. The rope has now went slack and loose as the knot that was holding it gave way, and you're now hanging directly underneath it.
Well, shit.
It is now the spearmen.
Spearman!
They run after it as best they can, trying to take a shot with their crossbow. They miss, unfortunately, just barely. So they fire at the bolt, it whizzes by, and they just shout out, "Jump for a tree!" as you're flying away. You can
Oh, is this cunt gonna live?
the swordsman kind of limps round. Carrick, you can see his hands are bleeding from trying to hold on to the rope. That's just ripped through his palms.
All that effort. And we're not even gonna get actual combat with the cunt. Like.
It is now.
What do you think we're in?
It is now Beric's turn.
It's not really combat, he's just running away. It wouldn't be-
So, am I still in sword distance?
Yes, you're definitely in sword
Yeah.
distance.
Flippin' cool flip the bit.
I am going to use second wind.
Oh yes, roll your d10. Oh,
That's the business.
With a +1, you gain 11. Nice. So you just you let out a scream of defiance as energy just starts surging through you.
And I am gonna before I pick my sword, I'm just like, if I'm going, you're coming with me.
Oh,
Damn it!
you
So close.
you keep trying to batter it, but you just cannot break through that line of feathers that are guarding its body. Just in such a precarious situation, you just can't swing hard enough to pierce through as you dangle beneath it. It is now Carrick's turn. As you see, it's starting to fly away, gaining some good distance on you.
How far can I move here?
You can shoot at quite a distance, by the way.
Yeah, well, no shit. I mean, what else am I gonna do? I mean,
You can shoot like 80 feet, I'm pretty sure.
well, I'm gonna have to move on 30 at least. So we'll go down here. About there. Say.
The short bow's effective range is 80. So like you could shoot up to 80, and beyond 80 it's a disadvantage up to 320.
Already the disadvantage.
So yes, it doesn't really matter. You can just keep
But-
shooting up until 320
What has
feet.
happened? Why is that?
Damn, that's quite a distance.
I think the longbow's up to
Oh
like
dear.
500.
Well, I've missed again.
So you just fire up another shot,
Fuck!
flying off into the distance,
Ah!
whizzing past Beric in
Well,
the
yes,
hangs
ring the
precariously.
bell. Literally cannot do any more.
On Like as the beast, I don't even have a big enough fucking map anymore. So we'll just keep it like this. I'll move you guys back for how far it would be able to move
Yeah,
because
yeah.
so yours would be like back here.
You know your what? Your
So
what? Photos
so
on my hard
as
drive.
it starts flying away, you see the same claw swinging back in for you again,
What
trying to knock you loose.
You're gonna try. Hold on a minute, gentlemen. Hold on.
Uh, should we keep going with the
Yeah,
attack?
keep going. Keep
So
going.
this claw, this one actually tries to, instead of like swiping at you, tries to grab you, and you feel the press of the claws, like the back singular talon, start pressing into your chest, while the three like frontal claws start pressing into the back of the chest piece. Roll some strength to hold on to the rope as you're being grasped. It would just be a normal strength, so we'll take your 11. But as you're trying to hold on, you feel the rope just get pulled from your hands as it grabs onto you, pressing it, actually like denting your chest piece in its claws
You
as-
son of a bitch!
as it rips you from the rope, trying to swing you forward, but it's still holding on. The crossbowman, you hear a bolt fly by, just barely missing the creature yet again. The swordman back there, he can't even do anything at this point. He's just kind of trying to bandage up his hands that are rope burned to fuck. Though it is back to your
Back to
turn.
me.
You are clasped in its talon.
Am I disadvantaged now because I'm technically not holding on to the rope?
To attack it, no. You gotta attack it properly, if that's what you want to do.
Can I attack it and then try to grab the rope then after that? If it releases me?
Yeah, because you'll have like both your hands free to actually take two attacks if you want.
But then can I grab the rope after that?
On your turn, no. On its turn, yes. Because that would be trying to take a reaction to just quickly go for it. So if you wanted to attack and let go on your turn, you could only do one. But if you wanted to grab it when it drops you, you could still make both attacks and then try and reach out and grab the rope if it drops you. This is very dangerous. There are trees beneath you. At this point, you're getting higher into the sky. Like this is very dangerous. It's hard to judge how high you
It's
are.
times like these where Jacob's gonna die.
Right, 2 sword attacks.
Make your first. That is a hit. Do some damage. Oh, that's nice.
This thing's gonna live, and
Roll
all
your
of this
second.
has been a waste of my time.
And your damage for that one. Oh. So, you thrust up with both your blades, getting some good stabs in through its feathers and its hide as best you can. It lets out a screech of pain. Like, and you can feel like it's starting to dip slightly in the air. It is now Carrick's turn.
Waste of my evening. Like, not even gonna get the kill.
Shut up and stop
This-
complaining.
If
You're
you,
not the one in the air right now.
Well, how did you get there? That's what I'm gonna ask.
How are we getting any of these predicaments because of your stupidity?
No,
oh,
not a single hit at all tonight. All rolling below 12 or below.
so close.
I've hit it twice.
So you fire up with your arrow,
Literally
trying to hit it.
nothing I can do. Oh, and just
just-
run about the forest.
It just whizzes by, barely missing.
This is
And
such bull.
having thrust up and stabbed the creature, like pretty much in the underbelly, you feel its grip will loosen. And you will need to make an acrobatics save as you're dropped from its claw. You can either
Can I
try
get
and
a
grab
sound
the
effect
rope,
for leg
or you can
breaking?
try and grab onto one of the trees that are about 30 feet below you at this point.
Gonna grab onto the rope.
Okay. Make your acrobatics save.
Don't roll a
It
one.
sounds
Just don't
like
roll a
evil
one.
This would be a
eyes
very hard
out
save to make
late.
because you're free falling.
Oh,
Oh, so you feel it let go. With swords in your hand, you just let go of one as you reach out to try and grab the rope, catch onto it, and you start sliding down at rapid speed, burning the shit out of your hand. You can feel blood starting to just form and run down your hand as about maybe 3 feet from the end, you catch on and stop. You're you're dangling like a good maybe 15, 20 feet down the rope near the end, just hanging on with one bleeding hand, your sword just falling down to the forest floor.
Karak!
You
Get my sword!
you barely made that save as it continues flying on further, which will push
I'm now out of range.
everybody back. Well, you can shoot up to like 300 feet, so
Yeah, so I mean, you're not. You can just keep
Not a
popping
hope.
shots.
I'll put these
We're
two.
running out of arrows, fam.
You can always buy more. You cannot
Yeah.
buy life
Sure.
back.
I can't buy them now.
Well, you have. Let me see how many you've got
Lad,
left.
this is the first time you've really used your bow.
You've got like
I
11
used about
arrows
flipping
left.
14 of them trying to shoot this cunt down.
Well, you can always buy more when you go back to the
Yeah.
store.
Your
I know,
reward
I'm
will.
saying
Your
I'm a-
reward
I'm
will. Put it into
Maximum.
expenses, lad. Put it into
Maximum. I started out the night with about 14 hours.
Oh,
I
you'd
have
you'd like
definitely used.
you'd like
I've-
all of them because you'd recovered them all.
Alright, okay.
So
I-
you're down to like
I'm
10.
complaining. Just shoot the thing, okay? I'm just trying not to shoot
But-
me in the process.
It is Beric's turn. Well, actually, no, it's the crossman. Crossman's gonna try and take a shot as best he can.
From.
Nope. The shot lands way short. He's pretty much out of range right now. Though it is Beric's turn, hanging precariously from the rope. You're now down almost about the height of the trees, about 10 feet above them.
Can I take a perception check?
Just stab
On
it
the
up the
creature.
anus, like as if
To see how hurt it is.
Yeah.
Make medicine, since you're trying to determine its health. You can
Do
tell
I think that this thing can keep flying for much longer?
it can keep flying for quite a while. It's the kind of creature that has lived a very rough, very difficult life and is clearly used to pain. So this is nothing new for it. But it is close to unconsciousness if you could land some significant hits. Because you can now also tell that the blows that you have done do not impact as hard as you believe they should. Like a creature of similar size to this would have dropped a long time ago.
Hmm. Yes. It is.
Is this come out the sky yet?
Not yet.
Right. I'm going to sheathe my sword if I
Okay.
can,
You can
and then start to reclimb the rope again.
make some athletics to attempt. Oh, so as you sheathe your sword with one hand,
Like shit, just gonna grab on.
your other hand that's been rope burned severely the blood soaking your palm starts to slip. Make an acrobatic save to attempt to save yourself from falling from the rope as your hand slips. So your bloodied hand slips from the rope as you reach up and grab it with your other hand about a foot from the end. Like you've maybe got 6 inches of room
How
at the
high
end of
is
this
he?
rope. He's
How high
about
is
a good, like the creature's about a good 60, 70 feet up, and he's about 20 feet below it.
So you're telling me he's gonna fall at least 20 to 25 meters?
Oh, he's gonna fall like 40 feet if he falls. And that's like not hitting a tree.
Which ain't gonna happen, bitches!
So you're like
There is
dangling there.
no way. There's
That-
no way you
like,
you will walk.
Is there
away
anything
from
you
this.
want to try and do? Because that would be
Me?
like your no way, Barrack. Because that's like your entire movement is falling and just fucking grabbing the end of the rope before you plummet to your death. Like you're hanging on 6 inches of life right
I'm gonna Google how
now.
How
you're so close
high
to dropping.
do you have
What can
fall.
I really do?
You could try and do something with
To
your other hand if you wanted to.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna use my other hand and just grab onto the rope again.
Okay, so you're just like kind of securing your grip right at the end of the
Yes.
rope. Like there is fear in your eyes as you came so close to death that it is uncomfortable. Like if you had rolled any less than a 20 on that acrobatics, you would have plummeted to the ground and probably died. Because that was like some near impossible shit you just pulled off.
Look, second, baby.
So it's now Carrick's turn, and you see like him get thrown from its claws, fall down, grab onto the rope, slide down, release, like drop, and then barely catch himself right at the end of the rope. It's now your turn.
I will just step out of character for just a brief moment. This was an absolute pleasure, gentlemen, playing this very, very short campaign.
Well, it's not
Uh,
over yet.
It's incredibly unfortunate that it only has lasted about a week, but it's been
Oh
fun.
my God.
I'll enjoy remaking a new character in a new world. Probably will
The
pick.
freaking cross moving right beside you. He's like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? He's lost it. He's gone to the fair.
I may go back to my old days of being a hobbit and aiming for genitals. That did work out pretty well
Just
last
shake the
time.
bow.
Take your shot.
Wait. Oh, there's no way that's gonna improve the situation.
It's just the same disadvantage
Just don't
for
roll
your
a fuck.
attack.
Yeah!
Oh my god!
You're- Roll your damage.
Oh,
Okay.
first, that's a
By the
shitty
gods, the
five.
man actually hit something. Like,
So
when it's that far away.
it's so far away you can't even see your arrow hit. You don't even realize you've hit it, but then you see it
I was aiming for the evil god.
you see it drop slightly, and Beric looking up, you just see an arrow just come pierce into its back. It let out another shriek of pain, and then
Continue
starts-
to fly away.
it starts to fly lower, and you begin to swing side to side very
Oh,
precariously.
You're gonna hit a tree.
Wait
and
a
tumble
minute,
over
wait a minute.
velocity.
Oh, is this creature flying south? Or is it
currently
flying north?
flying south.
Oh fuck, it's flying into the forest.
So
Hit it for.
yes, so
Yes, but if it was
Make-
flying north, it would fly to the mountains.
make an acrobatics save with disadvantage as you're being swung towards the trees as it flies lower, trying to dislodge you from the rope. It is clearly weakened.
Oh shit!
Oh.
So,
has been
The,
an
the rope
absolute blast.
swings side to side, and you're trying to control it as best you can, but as you look the direction you're swinging, you've just turned your head, and for half a second, you just see a tree just thump straight into you as
At terminal velocity.
you're knocked from the rope. At this point, you're about 20 feet in the air, slamming into a tree. And there is a
You're
thing
so
for.
brain dead. If you didn't take brain damage from this, you're so lucky.
So, in Dungeons and Dragons, every 10 feet you fall is a d6 of damage. And since you also hit a tree, I'll throw in another one. So, you'll be taking 3d6 for hitting the tree, and then falling to
Help
the
is
ground.
The man even on.
And as you plummet to the ground, you are on the edge of consciousness as you drop to 5 health. This plummet onto your back. If you hadn't second wind earlier, you would be
I'm
unconscious.
so fucked.
So, like, you have a aching pain
Wait,
everywhere.
what did he roll? I didn't see it.
No, it was me doing the
Oh,
damage. It was
oh,
14
okay.
points of damage.
Fuck.
So, you've
Uh,
slammed into this tree. Your clothes and armor are torn as the branches break your fall, coming down the tree, slamming onto your back. Make a Constitution save to see how bad the fall is. We'll take the 15 because you didn't need to do disadvantage.
yeah,
So
sorry.
you feel like if it wasn't for your breastplate, you would have probably broke your back. It like there was a root that you landed on, and the breastplate just took the impact and saved your back. But you are in severe pain, and you can look up
Should
and
be
see the
dead.
creature looking down your direction. And if it was possible to see something limping as it flies, it is limping as it flies. As it continues flying south, starting
it's
to
go-
bank off to the east.
It's gonna get away. It is gonna get away.
You will have one final chance to take a shot at it, as will the
There is-
crossbowman.
No way I'm hitting it though.
Come on, you
do-
hit it last time. Hit it
do-
again.
Do your disadvantage roll, and we will see if you hit.
It's no way. Oh my
You
god.
have hit,
I'm
and-
so lucky.
And the crossbowman beside you, inspired, just takes a random fucking pot shot, and they also hit.
Holy fuck.
Roll your damage.
4!
Whoa.
4!
And now the crossbow.
Literally, I could roll a 10. Not once have I got above 7.
Oh,
Not
that's the
once.
wrong thing.
What
Oh,
is this game?
so
go to
close.
Shallow.
So you
Can I
see
not roll a
that
six?
both these projectiles hit into it. It drops down low, barely skimming the trees, and then cresting up, flying off into the distance, becoming a speck out of your range.
What a waste of my evening.
But you do see the speck like kind of coasting round your group off to the east, and then heading off north towards the mountain. Just I'll bring you back to the map to show you roughly where. So if you zoom in on the red dot, that's like roughly your location on the edge
Okay.
of the forest. So you see the
Even if
creature
I do,
fly
that's
off
3 damage.
initially this way, then fly around and off towards the mountain in the direction of the mine.
Oh, brilliant. We're gonna get stabbed by miners next. It'll be fun.
Do you want to know how close you actually were?
No, Andrew, because that's just rubbing salt in the wound.
I
Uh,
guarantee if Macaulay had rolled an 8, he
I don't-
probably
but
would have got it.
You don't understand. The game's like miss, hit,
See,
do 6 damage.
Both-
Miss,
both of
hit,
you
do
roll-
2 damage.
roll, let's see here.
Madison.
No, let's roll intelligence checks. Just straight up intelligence.
Damn, that was quite good for a -2.
What the hell?
It
is
actually
a
was
ta-
pretty good. We'll take the 12. But combined, you can both tell that you don't know what the creature is, just that it's some sort of strange beast. But you can tell that from all the attacking that you've done on it, that your attacks weren't dealing, weren't affecting it as you think they would. And in game terms, that means it has resistance to the forms of damage you were doing, meaning it takes half of whatever you
Yeah.
did.
So like
So,
certain stuff has like magical resistance and
yeah, so
stuff
it's
like that.
resistant to normal forms of damage. Oh boy. So, do you want to know roughly what range of like percent health it was?
I'm gonna
Or
guess.
do medicine checks, and then we'll see what your characters think, and then what you both think.
Yes, I won.
So you think like you heard it, but you think it's happy as Larry. There's nothing wrong with it. Beric thinks it was pretty close, definitely in its last quarter of health. But as actual players, how close do you think it was?
I think it probably had about 20 HP left
And
or less.
and Mackay?
Probably like another friggin' 35 or 40. I don't know.
Well, its max was 33.
Right.
So then, since
Oh,
all your
now I know
attacks
what
were
it's max. I probably say probably
so
12 or less.
so knowing it takes half, that's essentially 66 points of damage you needed to do. Do you want to know how low it actually was? Because it's not going to be this if you meet it again, since it overrested.
Wow.
It was at 2. If you had literally
What?
if you had literally
Oh.
hit it one more time, if one of those misses was a hit, you would have killed it. One, or you were like up trying to stab it. If you had just rolled one higher there, or rolled one higher on a ranged attack, it would have went down flying away. Like 2 health. I was waiting that whole time for just like a final blow to come in when it was so low. Like when the crossman hit, he did. What did he do? So McCoy did 4. The crosswoman did 4, which was dropped since it's 8, it was dropped to 4.
Yeah,
It was
4.
at 6, and just combined did 4 damage, and it just slowly
That's
limped off.
exactly the way it
barely
goes,
alive.
though, for Mayla.
But you could tell that it's so injured that if you do find it again, it's still going to be injured. Unless
Yes,
it heals over very well.
We've
it has
got
taken a
Don,
right thrashing.
Don Faggot over here probably doesn't have legs.
Man, I'm
Mostly.
fine. I'm grand.
Well, don't know
You're
about
you're very
fine, but
hurt, but
he needs
you'll live.
he needs to recover, and he can't use second wind again.
after a short rest,
Second wind.
Yeah,
I
but
could
then
just-
Dawn Creature gets a short rest, and does it not get?
it can recover, yeah.
We see, there you go. Now we're absolutely back to square one. Like literally, what we just did there was pointless.
It's for the
No,
role
no.
play, for the threat of death, where if Jacob had
I blame myself for picking up that damn rope to begin with. I just
if
should've
you
shot the
hadn't,
thing the whole
like,
time.
there's no way to know what would have happened. But
No, if I
if-
didn't pick up that rope,
if
Would've
you
been
didn't
alright.
pick up the rope, it could have flew off sooner and been on higher health. Like, you picking up the rope delayed it leaving, which let the crossman
Did
take
it
taking
though?
shots
Like,
and let Jacob climb up and stab it.
I only got one good roll on it, and I held it for about 3 turns.
Even you
That's-
just
that's-
jumping on at the start, pulling it down, stopped it from getting away.
And the fact that, like,
No,
Macaulay,
I'm talking about
thing,
the second
like,
time. Like,
we fucked this thing up way more than we technically should have. Like, this thing probably would have escaped
Like,
straight away if it wasn't so retarded.
so every turn, because I knew, like, there's a rope tied to its foot, essentially. All it needs to do is slash the rope, and the entire scenario was over. It could have left as soon as we
that's
started.
what's annoying me. Like,
So,
it
I
gives-
rolled-
it
I
gives
rolled,
you
like,
hope.
an intelligence check every single turn. If it got more than 10, it was going to cut the rope. It's got a -1 to intelligence, and the highest it got was a 9.
I hate this.
So
game.
every single turn, it
I
was
hate this game.
just fucking bad rolls. Like, one of them was a 1 for trying to work out there was a fucking rope tied to it and just fucking slash it. And it's like, and then rolled just so good on everything else to escape. And escaped the hard way. One more hit, you might have got it. But you did see where it flew to, so you do know where to go next if you want to pursue it. And
Two
continue
and a
the
quarter
hunt.
hours, and we fucked it up, but we're no better off.
Well, you do get some experience for the combat since you survived. So,
Lad, it's not
I
like
wanted its head.
we still can get its head.
Yes, but we're less men down. He'll recover probably better health than what we will. I don't know.
well, if you
but
sleep
I'm
at
assuming.
night, you'll get all your health back.
Yeah, but so will it, surely.
I'm not gonna treat the monsters that way because that makes it too difficult. So
Yeah.
it's
But
just
we're
gonna
on-
have
we're-
it's just
The
gonna roll
monster
for its
will
health.
be like
Because,
gravely wounded.
You
So it will
can
probably it will return to its lair more than likely to rest.
so like
Which
if you think of
we
it
do
like
not
this,
know where it
you're
is.
you're
First we gotta find the
intelligent.
cunt.
You're intelligent creatures, so when you rest and sleep the night, you can patch yourself up, apply medicine, apply ointments, like bandage yourself, just rest. It can't do any of that. So it's got bleeding wounds. It needs to wait for them to heal over themselves. So
Yeah.
it's gonna take it a lot longer to recover than it will take for you to recover. So
Right.
the faster you like, if you find it like straight away in like 1 or 2 days, it would be super fucked up.
I wonder if it's male or female.
That roll an animal handling check to see it when you were up so close underneath its feet if you could tell what it was.
uh, no. Animal handling. Boop.
It was female.
Interesting.
So I should have been aiming for the vagina, basically.
Well,
No, it means it could have young.
so as
That
it has
requires a
flown
male,
off,
but
what do you
we
want to do
we
next?
don't know if it requires a male or not.
Well, what do you want to
Yeah.
do next? So you've
Well,
just saw Barrack.
I'm
Fall
gonna
from the sky.
use-
wait, I accidentally drew something.
I got it.
Oops.
I am gonna use both
Go
of my
go back to the
rolls
lumberyard
for
and
the
turn
day.
myself in of embarrassment.
Uh,
You mean to recover
so-
your health?
Yep.
No.
So I'm gonna roll. Isn't it a D10 and a
D8.
D6?
I don't
D8.
even know if I took any damage. I think I took some. Ah!
Oh. So You're-
7 health.
you're so fucked up from like your almost broken back that you don't get a ton of health back. That would put you up to 12. I'll change that on your sheet.
I will also drink one of the potions of healing I have.
Are
Same
you
here.
intending to like wait the night, or are you just gonna move? Because if you're gonna wait, you'll heal anyway. So there won't be much point like using the healing potion now.
Well, what do you mean wait the night? Like,
Like, are you gonna try and like camp
When we
down and
regroup?
rest? Yeah. Or
well, yeah. So I'll not use that then.
yeah, because better
I
save it
guess
for
I'm gonna
later.
have to walk back to try to find these guys.
Yeah, you're quite a distance away at this point. Like in the distance, Carrick just sees you. Like it swing down, you disappear
on.
beneath the trees, and then it fly up again and disappear. Well, it fly off to the north. So you don't know if Barrack is alive or dead. You just know he is gone. And you can't see Carrick or the others either. So, what do you both want to do now that...
Can I kind of walk back in the direction I was carried from, and then also see if I can find my sword on the way there?
Yeah, just do an investigation since you're so fucked up. See if you can find. Okay, so along the way, it takes you a while as you're just limping and just dragging yourself back the direction
Rather
you're in.
dazed, you know.
But you don't see it. You just kind of shuffle along and end up stumbling into it as you walk along.
Is it just upright? Did the sword
It's
fall like
it's just on its
laid
side,
into the
just kind of covered by some of the pine needles where it landed, and you just kind of kick into it with a ding.
Oh. Alright, I shall pick
Is
that up.
is Carrick going to go look for Derek as he disappeared behind
Yeah.
the crate? Are you going to go look for him, or
God damn it.
Look for who?
for
I'll
Jacob?
just sat down again. Oh, Jacob?
Andrew,
Yeah.
how do
Well,
I delete
probably, aye.
stuff from my inventory?
What do you want to take out?
I'm gonna need to take off the rope, and I'm gonna need to take off the grappling hook.
Nice. Well, you still have a little bit of rope, maybe about like 10 feet, but the grappling
Oh yeah,
hook
I
is
will
gone.
also untie the rope that is attached to my sleeve.
Okay, yeah, just take that off. But is Carrick going to go look for the missing Beric? Or
Oh, may as well, you know.
so
All I know, he's probably dead.
yeah, you're expecting a dead body. As you
Yeah.
start heading south with the two remaining recruits, you're kind of just dazed and shocked at this point. Do you want to do anything as you shuffle your way back looking for the others?
Can I inspect my breastplate? See what shape it's in.
Uh, as you look down at the front, there are some quite like 3 deep grooves cut and dented through the steel, going from the bottom left up over the chest to the right, like where the right arm would be, where they just kind of tear through the edge where they dug up into your arm. And then right in the center, there's a deep puncture, like a slight small hole where the claws punctured through just the center. And on the back, there are 3 quite large puncture holes. Not like large enough that you actually got hurt from being grabbed in the back, but they're maybe about like a centimeter, like kind of little triangles where the claws dug in.
It'll not really affect
It's
the
not gonna
protection of the armor.
No, it just looks really beat up, and it's a bit more difficult to get on now that the
Unless like
front's kind of
someone
messed up
shot an arrow in my back and luck sacked and
and
like
hit the hole.
hit the hole.
Ugh,
Oh, that's not too bad. Kind of fucks my resale value for that breastplate.
it does.
You
It
know,
saved your life.
it saved my life. So
If it hadn't been there, those claws would have pierced straight through your chest. And probably ripped your heart out. So you're very lucky.
I. Oh fuck! I can't believe I survived that. They seem shocked that I am alive.
They're extremely shocked that you have somehow survived and are stumbling back towards them. Is there anything you just want to say to each other?
You look like you've seen a ghost.
What, me?
The
Why?
the 2 recruits are just like, how did you live? We saw you drop below the trees and then the beast fly off to the north.
Apparently, I am harder to kill than it looks.
Or you're just lucky.
Luck or hard to kill. It's good you survived. One of the swordsmen who is clutching his pretty much broken hands walks up and painfully pats you on the shoulder.
Ah, that a boy. What a bit of pain there. Poor alcohol.
As he
Yeah.
limps off, clutching his hands in pain.
Now that we've had time to breathe, introductions are maybe now in order. We should have did this sooner, but it's been a rough couple of days.
The recruits glance back in the direction of their dead companions, and the swordsman looks up at you. You can see he's He's definitely not from this kingdom. He's from further south with very tanned skin.
We do not get 100 gold for this shit.
So he looks up to you like,
I'm so disappointed.
I obviously come from the south. So Declan, he was a crossbowman, the man whose arm was torn from his chest. And then we had Julia, the brave woman with the whip who essentially saved your life by stopping the creature flying away with you.
Pretty sure the
Rest her
Simpsons
soul.
have that.
And then this is Kieran, the one who picked up the crossbow and tried to shoot down the creature, and then Kieran pipes in, I'm not very experienced with a crossbow, sir, but I tried my best to take down the beast. I think I got a few good shots on it.
Yes. I suspect that the creature is very injured. It will need to return to its lair to
But
rest.
how will we find it? It says. We just saw it fly north.
It flew to the north, so yes, we have traveled there before. There are mountains in the north. I suspect that we should be able to find it on peak or something. It looks to be female, so it may have a nest and might have some young. It could explain its aggressiveness and why it's been hunting so much.
The two of them glance at each other and back to you. They just sort of like, damn, he's fucked up. We should probably make camp, rest a bit, and then travel as soon as we're able.
Yes, I could do with some rest.
At this point, the strength of your legs gives way beneath you, and you crumple to your knees in pain. Like very strong pain shooting up your back, where you can tell you almost broke your back from that fall. This is an injury that might travel with you for a while.
Worth it.
Oh boy.
The only way that I could have been more badass in that moment is if I had killed it.
Yes, which you were close to.
I'm
Which-
just disappointed.
May have had its own disadvantages because then I would have been falling out of the sky. But
Does Carrick want to input anything to the reunion?
If we had Talia, defo would have killed it. Like,
Yes, you have no clue where Telly has been this whole time.
oh, she's with a Scarva. I'm coming back.